Hello, I'm Tom Rossi. I'm the inventor and producer of the Water Hog product line, which includes the tank dry tool, which is what we're talking about today. Why? Because we are repeatedly asked, okay, well, the video that follows this one immediately will show you that it works, and we've demonstrated it in water. However, people said, well, how do we really know that it works in a live fuel situation? Well, as you can probably see here, we have gasoline floating on water. So this is live fuel here right now. This is a simulated tank, and I'm sure you folks are all familiar with the fact this is what a 4-inch riser looks like, and it comes down for access to the tank. A little heavy for me to hold up for a further demo, but you get the picture. Now what we do is we'll simulate with this clear one here to simulate that riser there. The tank dry tool's mission is very simple. The tank dry tool is here to go down to the bottom, so we're going to go right now and we're going to say, okay, we've been through the riser, we come down through the riser, and when it runs out of the bottom and hits the tank, as soon as it clears the top of the tank, it's top heavy because of this nose cone. And because of the nose cone, it's going to tip. Now, I'm going to put one of our inserts in it. This is a small one because this is only for demonstration purposes. And this is just how complicated this is. I mean, it's so simple, it's unbelievable. All we do is hook on one of these refill types. We pull it up into this guy here, which is being simulated, of course, like this. And there it goes. And so you can see it's now taking on fluid, it's taking on gasoline, and water being heavier than fuel. It's expelling the gasoline at this point through a bunch of little ports that we have established in the device itself. So it's been down now for 60, 90 seconds, something like that. Generally, depending on by the way, the constitution of your water, we're not sure what's in it, what its pH is, the temperature, other things that might be contained in the water. It may take less or more time. The question has been, doesn't the fuel stop the process as you pass through it? Doesn't it inhibit the ability of this device to work? The answer is no. And why is it no? It's no because, so you've seen that it passed through the fuel. I let it set right on it, and then it settled down right through it. The first thing that happened is the fuel intruded the end of the tank dry tool, which is open, and as it did, air was let out through the vent holes, and then as it went down to the bottom, being that it's heavier than fuel, the water went in and replaced the fuel and crowded it out. So the fuel would come out because, again, it's lighter than the water. The material that we use ignores fuel. And that's good to know also because it means it's not robbing you of fuel. It's already plumped up, big and fat. And that's only been about 3 minutes now. And so now what we're going to do is I'm going to simulate bringing it back up. And as we talked about, you've got a 20-foot long cord, and that cord is going to get reeled in by the operator, whoever might be doing this particular function. As it's coming up, you don't have to worry about it bumping up against the bottom of the riser or wherever that connects to the tank and getting jammed, because the nose cone is self-centering. You see that? It just follows it right up inside, and as it does, boom, up it comes. So that'll just come right on up, just like that. Very simple. Now let's find out how our guy did. And I'm going to just take it and pull. Oh boy, see, it's swelled. If it were not for this sleeve, this thing would have swelled beyond the limits of the sleeve, and you couldn't get it up the riser. Very important, that's the secret. Now look at that guy. Just take a peek. I mean, that's incredible. That is full of water. And you'll find out all of the options you have available in the video that follows regarding what you can do about the contents here. And we're going to show that to you shortly. But remember, it went from this to this in about 5 minutes. Not bad. When it comes to you, this is what it looks like. This is how it's delivered, and it includes the insert, which is this right here. This is a super absorbent polymer, fuel resistant. It ignores fuel on the outside and will only take on water. The material itself is a very special high density material that resists all fuels and will give you a very long service life. It's a tremendous value. It includes a 20-foot cord for you to go down to the bottom with and to come back up. And here we are, abracadabra. Now we're at the diesel tank. You can see we have a field of live diesel fuel and then the water. And we've got our hardy, trusty tank dry tool. And we've got ourselves another insert. Remember, this is a lot shorter. Normally they're about 4 feet long, as I showed you here. We're going to go ahead and just hook another insert on there. Simply pull it up inside the sleeve. And as you can see now, we're ready to go back down the riser. And when we clear the top of the tank where the riser ends, this is going to go right into and encounter fuel. The nose cone is heavy, so it's going to point it right for the bottom. As the water comes in, it's going to start forcing the diesel out, and the material inside, which is our super absorbent material, is going to do its job sucking up the water. This process will save money. How much? You can save up to 90% per tank compared to a pumper service every time. That's huge. The benefit, of course, is manifold. And what do I mean by that? I mean that in addition to the great savings you have here, you don't have your islands tied up. You don't have them taped off. You don't have a big truck in the way. You don't have personnel running around. You don't have unhappy customers that are driving off because they can't maneuver around and they're buying gasoline from you or diesel from your competitor. They're certainly not going into your C-store if they can't park or navigate comfortably. And they want to be able to park, start fueling, go into your C-store. That's not going to happen. I can tell you, because I was an operator. I was a Chevron dealer with my son. We built it, operated it with a car wash, and it was very effective for us. We were happy with it. So we learned the hard way and the right way about the business. Now I do want to remind you that the disposal of this material is really simple, because you can either hang the insert out to dry, and then you end up with something that a little bit longer, but it looks like this. It's about 2 ounces, 3 ounces. It goes in your hazmat container. The gel inside, and that's holding the water, will evaporate into a dust, maybe a thimble full, maybe a jigger full, and that can go in your hazmat container. You can expedite the process, as you'll see in the following video, by cutting the sock open with the gel, let it out to expose it to more air. And you can do it even more rapidly by sprinkling table salt on it. When you do that, you'll see in a video where we sprinkle some table salt on it, and it just breaks down into a watery liquid. Now, depending on your water treatment facility where you are, it may be okay to go down the drain. Check with them. That's your call. Or you let it evaporate, just dehydrate, not a problem. So we're going to come back up, and we're coming up, and we know that where the riser is, it's going to self-center. It's going to come right up on the nose cone. It's going to self-center it. Now you can see that guy is full. It's totally full. And you can now do exactly what we did before. We simply unhook it. And if we want to, we put another one on it and send it right back down. And now you're invited to watch a video that goes into a lot more depth. It's a brief video, but I think you'll find it to be very interesting, and I think you'll find it to be very informative. If you have any questions afterwards, boy, don't hesitate to give us a call. We're here to serve you 24/7. Thank you very much, and now on to the regular video. Hello and welcome back to Monarch Green. Today we have two very exciting new time and money saving tools to share with you. Now we can sum it up in 4 words. It's all about the water. Now water, of course, is very important to our very existence. On the other hand, to those of us in the fuel industry, water is a serious problem. Water corrodes, as we know, but it also carries leaked fuel into the environment, combines with ethanol to form phase separation, creates very corrosive acid that damages plumbing, piping and connections, under dispenser containers, spill buckets, sumps, and more. That's all extremely costly component damage. Now, in our companion mywaterhog.com video, we've shown you how Water Hog is a very easy, low-cost solution versus bulky socks, rags, and pumping. Forget bulky soaked socks and rags. It removes water in as little as 3 minutes for about the cost of a hamburger, instead of very expensive alternatives like pumper trucks, plus the islands that get blocked up and congested with vehicles and personnel walking around on site, the risk of injuries, and frustrated customers who drive off, which means lost revenue and loss of goodwill. Easy disposal. Forget over 8 pounds per gallon of water that has to be hauled and treated on your dime, and sharply reduces your high hazmat container service cost. So instead of all that nonsense with the socks and the pillows and the rags and the towels and all this other business that you have to coil up and stuff into the hazmat container or a bucket for disposal, all you have is a 2-ounce empty skin to put in your hazmat container, which means you can get scores of these in the hazmat bucket, no problem. The first of our 2 new tools I want to share with you is our interstitial sorbent device. Now, we know that on the double-walled tanks we have a riser. It's 2 inches in diameter. This will fit right down inside there, and it will go right down to the bottom. It will start picking up the water that's in the interstitial space. This will generally only take a few minutes, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. Then all you do, and I should show you, by the way, this is a refill. You can see how flat that is, how skinny that is, and it's absorbed the water. And then all you do is disconnect, like that, hook up another one, and you go right back down. Now, in the past, I've really advised against putting anything down into a tank. We feel that anything you put down in that tank can get tangled up, mixed up with plumbing. But of course, we know that that's really plagues the industry, where there's water down in the bottom of a tank. We get it. When you have a riser, a typical 4-inch riser like this guy right here, and of course, what you've got is the berry starting up here, and then the top of the tank where my hand is. As you start to come up out of it, and I'm going to use a simulated one that's a little bit lighter weight to mess with. So here you have the same thing. As you come to bring it out, it's going to get hung up here, which is really bad because it may get stuck. It may have expanded larger than this opening, which is really bad news because you're not going to get it out of the tank until you drain the tank and send somebody in there. Or what's even worse, it may get there, snag, tear, its contents open up of whatever sorbent material you've used, and when that happens, now you contaminated up to 20,000 gallons of fuel. Also, the other issue of having to get in there and clean the tank. Very, very costly, very time-consuming, and it's not going to make the operator very happy with having that tank out of commission. We have the solution. We call it our tank dry tool. Now, with a tank dry tool, what we've engineered is we take that same Water Hog. This normally would be 4 feet long. We've given you a prototype here so that we can get it into our tank. But it's that same Water Hog that we use, as you can see, and you can tell it's hooked up to a snap just like the one that we use for the interstitial device. And we bring that up into our 4-foot long tube that'll have a capacity of a little bit, right close to 2 gallons of water each. When we put this in water, and by the way, we use all chemically resistant to fuel materials so that they're not going to degrade over time. They're going to last you for a long, long time, and they're a very affordable tool to have as well. When you send this down into the tank, this device here, this nose cone, has another real big benefit, and that is that it's going to make this top heavy so that it's going to want to lay down in the tank. But you can see now it's going to be taking up the water that's at the bottom of the tank. But now that it's done its job, we're going to take our simulated riser here. The reason for the nose cone, along with having a weight that'll make it lay down in the tank, is as we start to pull it up, it will automatically self-center and just come right up, the riser, automatically by itself, and come right out of the tank, just like that. And then, again, we can remove the used Water Hog sock, and just hook another one on and send it back down if you feel you have the need. It will not be this clear plastic, it'll be a very durable tube that houses and becomes the sleeve for the Water Hog. So these two tools are really valuable money and time-saving tools that I believe every operator can use. So whether you're an operator or a distributor or both, please give us a call. We'd be happy to hear from you.